Hi everyone and welcome to Research Panel. We'll be hosting this workshop on how you can get into research. We have a really amazing guest speaker today. I hope you enjoy it. But first, let me introduce you to STEM to Connect. We are a youth-led organization that aims to uh, offer educational opportunities to young students who are interested in diverse STEM fields. And we have multiple initiatives. For example, an internship program, we had guest speakers, we do our own webinars, and more will come soon. So you can stay connected if you're interested in that. Um, for our social media, you can find us on Instagram and LinkedIn. And we have actually a really cool LinkedIn newsletter with really interesting topics that change, I guess, every week. And make sure to follow us there.
Hello. So to kind of talk about etiquette, please remember to have your microphone muted when someone is talking. Turn your camera on if possible, and put questions in the Q&A chat, and our speakers will address them afterwards. Please act professionally, be proactive during discussions, raise your hand, and yeah, most importantly, enjoy the presentation. And so also to talk about taking notes and getting a certificate. So please take notes during the whole webinar, be interactive during the event. You'll receive a link to a form where you can submit your notes and speak on your engagement to earn a digital certificate. And yeah, so without further ado, let's introduce our speakers today. Our speakers are Michael, Omijie, and Luiz Dembicki. And so to talk about Michael Omijie, he's currently an AI researcher and Microsoft Yoma AI Competition 2025 winner. He's worked on projects such as StudyPadi and HydroSense AI, combating real-world impact with data-driven innovation. And for Luiz Dembicki, he's a builder, engineer, and researcher with hands-on experience in Formula SAE, project cars, material science, and corrosion research, including plasma-treated metals and chemical engineering projects. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen, and if Luis can share his presentation first. I think Luis is having some of the technical difficulties, and because Michael is here today, Michael, would you want to present your PowerPoint first?
Yeah. Right. Just give me a few seconds to access that. Let me try to share my screen. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me? Let me try to share my screen. Okay, share.
Since you're on the phone, would it be better
So can
if
you see
okay.
it now?
Yep. We can also share your screen if you would like. We have the whole would you want us to share the screen?
Okay. So that's better. That's better. Just share it from your end. Share it from your end. Because I'm not close about my laptop. So just share it from your end. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's better. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm really honored to be the one taking this, and I'll try and make it brief and concise as possible. So who am I? I'm Michael Omijie, I'm a CS student and also an AI builder. Though I'm a STEM researcher, I do more about STEM and AI research. I'm very passionate about the whole research field because I believe whatever we are building for the future, it actually starts from research. No matter the products we are building in terms of STEM, in terms of tech, in terms of AI, we actually need that research skills. And in 2025, I won first place at over 10,000 competitors in the Microsoft AI Challenge. I've shifted over 3 AI projects and I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. Can move to the next slide, please. Next slide, if possible, please. Okay, I think I won't need to say more about this. You can just move to the next slide. Let me go to the pay stuff for the day. I said about who I am. Uh, next. Okay, yeah. So to start with, the first thing I'm talking about is how I got some opportunities. And there's one thing I always make sure I say: I didn't wait to feel ready. I just started by building things, going into challenges, and actually just basically building things for research. So the first thing I did, I built first and then act later. If you go online, there are actually numerous of research opportunities. There are all very numerous of STEM opportunities that one can actually go into. But most times, some people they actually feel that they are not qualified enough or they don't feel ready most of the times. So most times you see people, teams of people don't really go into those competitions. So the first thing is by building first. You have to actually start building. Like any idea you have, it can actually change the world. Let me give a short story about my idea that I built. There's actually StudyPadi, and I built it for the Nigerian audience basically. The plan was simple. Just help people learn jobs. So StudyPadi basically works whereby you upload your material and it breaks down each part of your PDF or whatever you chunks and also give you questions in flashcard styles. So I saw the problem and I built another one is by entry level competition. Most times you just enter anyone, you tend to get experience from them. So most times when you go to competition, you tend to like have experience about what you are doing there. And also say yes to channels. There are some puppies here and there you see researchers, AI researchers, AI teachers, AI interns. And those are really very important because there are a whole lot of opportunities. So you keep building yourself, keep going for things like that. You tend to get exposed to those opportunities. Please, to the next slide. So let's see how a typical day is for me. So basically, let's see how a typical day works for me. So most times I read a paper or two, then I write on the box some Python code. Sometimes I try to analyze data, build some models, data processing, and all of that, document those like become repeatable during works. But also, in as much as most times I'm actually very happy, there are also some frustrating parts of my day. The frustrating part would be whereby my code just broke for no reason, or the model I'm building actually does not work. Or my research does not yield any profit. Because sometimes I get confused when I keep researching about something, keep doing something. Sometimes when I get data, the data is not well structured, it's not being processed well. Most times I always have issues with that. And there are also some rewarding parts. The rewarding part is basically when the model finally works and I'm getting to learn faster than everyone in the class. And also putting in the CV. We tend to like feed it down to your CV and you are learning a lot. Most times you'll be far ahead of your peers that are probably in the same age too. So you tend to gain experience from a whole lot of stuff like that. So researching is actually true. But it's more about you being able to give to it, like you really give your time to actually know about it. Possibility of sometimes say data and it just evolve your data processes at all. So let's move on to the next. Now, how to reach out? I also want to talk more about reaching out to professors and to some CEO. So first off, you must not reach out for internship. You just want to subject. Hi, I'm a student. I'm very interested in working with you. I'm passionate about tech and AI. Please let me know if there are opportunities. Now, first off, when you send a message like this to a very senior professor, you don't expect to actually receive a very good reply from them. Why? Because first off, it's too big. And this is someone that is very busy. You need to actually strike a point with them. You need to actually ensure that they know. Because when you send a message on professional platforms like LinkedIn, for example, if you actually use LinkedIn, can I just say thumbs up from you? If you use LinkedIn or any of those professional apps like LinkedIn, say nobody uses LinkedIn here. So how to build free courses before they reach out. You take courses online. You can also build your GitHub portfolio, entry competition, and also volunteering for tech roles. What not to learn? You need to learn about blog or LinkedIn or Twitter, showing how you can communicate an idea. It's half the battle research. So you need to show how you can actually communicate what you are saying. That you are doing, show how you can actually communicate. And also showing off for events. There are some events that tend to happen that actually involve research and all of that. So is there a next slide? So my biggest mistake, I used to think I needed a degree before I wasted months waiting for permission. Yes, that was one big mistake I actually made, and I actually did it. I spent time actually waiting, telling me to do this, waiting for people to tell me to take on research projects because I thought that I was not good enough. And my key advice is just open one, just do it. Do that research, do that competition, just do that gig, go for that challenge, just go for anything, do that work, do the research, and also go for it. Because I believe that most times we are just the one limiting ourselves. It's just like so most times you can actually do it. So just go for it. And I don't say you need to limit yourself most of these times. Yeah. So I love to know if you have any question challenge you're working on. So I already have some views I need to give out. So if you have any question, just raise up your hand, your virtual hands, and I'll answer them.
I have a question.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Yeah.
Could you maybe share the
For
code?
questions such okay, so we're gonna leave all of our questions towards the end, if that's okay. And we do apologize for the audio. I think it wasn't that clear for some people. We are going to share these slides later. So if you weren't able to really hear what Michael was saying, we're going to just send this presentation again. And hopefully, I believe that his presentation had a lot of text. So hopefully you guys were able to still read off his presentation. And yeah, but thank you, Michael, for sharing. And if Luis, if you want to present, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, nice. Now you guys can hear me, all right? Let me just mute myself in the um yeah, here, so I can't hear myself twice. Perfect. So about me, my name is Luiz Dembicki. I'm 26-year-old. I'm chemical engineering student here in Brazil. I'm from a public university here in Brazil, which are some of the best here in Brazil. I'm right now I'm an intern in a research and development company, and also my main interests are creating stuff, helping people out, and understanding and learning stuff. So as you can see by the pictures, I do a lot of stuff. I did an acoustic guitar here in university as a side project. I did a car here. Some things require engineering. Most of them. Some things don't require more of a creative side. I do think it's quite important for you guys to reach out and try to do creative stuff while you're pursuing also research topics and that kind of stuff. So a bit of my research history. My first research project was in high school. We have a thing in Brazil which we call scientific initiation, which is something like a junior researcher, and you have a junior researcher in high school possibility. So I did a junior project in biology, philosophy, and conservation, which is bioethics. So basically, if it's ethical, it's philosophically correct and actually you enter in a bit in rights movements, that kind of stuff, to do some stuff. And that kind of stuff that I did was about museology, so museums. We had a herpetology museum, and I did some stuff with the herpetology team. So like herpetology is basically like cobras and that kind of stuff. And I didn't like that much of the side of philosophy, so I didn't go into. I went into more of a STEM side in university. I went into chemical engineering. So my other research project was in university. I did a lactic acid from food waste, which is basically taking food waste from our university restaurant and turning into something that you can use it. You actually have that kind of stuff in basically everywhere, but there's a thing called lactic fermentation, which is a kind of fermentation. It's basically how you do sauerkraut. If you guys ever ate sauerkraut, it's basically the same process. And in that way, you can enrich the compounds and make them better for composting, so better for farming, that kind of stuff, fertilizing. It was quite cool because you don't think that you would think that food waste would smell horrible after a few weeks, but using lactic fermentation, it actually removes all the bad smell, which is kind of incredible. Another thing that I did was that one I had both my first research projects and this third one, I had some government aid, so I actually I was paid to do those research, which is really good. It's a great possibility that you have. and it was in material sciences. It was the start of my material sciences crazy career, which is actually what I work today. So it was low temperature plasma nitriding and corrosion. Basically, you guys can see the blue picture right there on the right. That picture is of a plasma reactor. So you have the metals there. Do you have a little samples of a metal? We actually used high grade metal, which was Inconel firstly. No, this photo is Inconel, but the others was SAF 2507, which is a high grade material that Inconel is basically what you use in spaceships where the engines go, because it can withstand high temperatures and a lot of stress and strain. And we did the plasma nitriding, which is basically taking a very intense electric field with a very low atmosphere, and you apply that potential, and the nitrogen in the atmosphere that you create gets pushed into the surface of the metal, and it enters the surface of the metal. So it kind of makes a nitrogen layer in the metal. If you guys can get that, I try to explain it at a level that's reachable to all kinds of people. I hopefully it was understandable. And after that, I also did corrosion testing on those samples, so to check if the treatment worsened or helped with corrosion. That was basically the intent of my research. You can see the lower picture, that you have a bunch of white spots on a yellowish surface. So the yellowish surface was the result of the nitrogen treatment, so it gets that kind of yellowish tint, and the white spots is actually where the corrosion happened, so it changed the chemical structure of the metal. That was what happened. And on the left, you have the gray image. You have what's basically a really high zoom. You can see the magnification there, like it's 1,000 times. You see the 1.00 kx, that's 1,000 magnifications. The scale right there is 50 micrometers. So basically, you can see the grain structure, how the metal was changed by the plasma nitriding. You can see some black spots, not the dots, but around. Those are actually like flakes the metal gets, where after you get a really intense plasma treatment with nitrogen. So it was basically it. And what is research like? I think I tried to explain a lot of things about my research, but maybe I was understanding, maybe not. But in general, it's reading about the topic. Firstly, you have to try to understand a topic, or you start from a point of view like you already know a bit about the topic, but you need to know how you're gonna structure your research. So you get some articles, you stop in to check where you are at the start. And basically, there's some research that you end there. A lot of humanities research is like that. You read something and then you do a review of that topic. That's called a review journal. It's or state of the arts. It's just something that you can explain a topic to another person. It's basically it. It's a type of article, so it gets the same amount of precision. And if your research is a little more in depth, you can have some planning. You found something that you can work on, something that is a breakthrough, possibly. You're gonna start preparation of samples and cases. So you're gonna check where you're gonna go and what you want to find out and how you're gonna find out about it. So you need a lot of thought put into. Otherwise, you're gonna get results that don't really have any meaning, or you can't separate the results. What is actually a result, or is actually just an artifact or of how you did it, because you didn't have a clear plan, or even you have a clear plan, but it didn't work out, it didn't go through, the equipment that you have is not adequate, it's not correct for that test. So after you do all this, the experience, gather a little bit of data, you review the data and the theory, and you write a report, an article. You always are writing something because you don't want to miss out on information. It's something that I found out, like by doing silly mistakes, like not getting an information here or there, like not getting the which kind of equipment I was using, which is something that you think, oh, that's quite stupid, but it happens. Like you forget things because there are lots of things that you have to keep track of. So, and basically when you write a report or article, you have to go through the theory and the review, just like the first step, like what your proceedings. And after that, you write what your materials and methods. So how was your research done, and finally you show the results and write a little bit of a discussion in it, and what are your thoughts, and did it go through like you expected? Did you have a theory to explain that before and after? Like, does it corroborate with your theory? One general technique is to have a blank, like something that's not going to change, and you measure that thing that's not going to change, it's the same, and after you change all other samples that you change the parameters, and that they're gonna be different from the blank, you compare with the blank. It's a very common technique. So that's basically what research is like. So this to put my research experience into some examples. The first one that I did as a high school project, it was basically a straight review article. There was just comparing, reading a lot of articles. It was more of a humanities paper, so something that I could do a summary of those topics, basically. And my final ones, it was more of a third type, so going day to day and getting samples. Those are my samples. Those are little metal samples on the top right. Annotating stuff, going to equipments, reading through all the stuff, and finally reviewing all the data that I had. Actually doing those arts that your guys are seeing. So, how you gonna show people what your results are like? How can you make that clear to other people? How can you make it stand out or be factual? So basically, turning my samples into annotations, planning, and going through all the equipments, getting data, and after all that, we write again. It's a lot of writing and reading. So my advice is, research can be a long and maybe boring process even if you don't like it. So try to find a topic that you're quite interested in, or try to find meaning on what you're doing. It's a very important thing. Read a lot of papers, see what you guys can check out, just maybe see some cracks in those research, something that you can would like to help with, or maybe have a little doubts about something. One thing that's incredible is whenever you have doubts about something, maybe it means that something is there for you to learn, or other people to learn. So it's quite incredible. And by reading articles and that kind of stuff, you can find labs or people that you're interested that would interest you. And in that way, you can also build a knowledge in that area. So you can actually go by the last step. So it was kind of what I did in university. Go to the coursework and ask professors, and maybe you'll get something out of it. I think that's about it. And many thanks. Let's get through the emails out also.
Thank you, Luiz, for presenting. We're now going to share some of the email templates that people put in the chat. So just to kind of give you guys an overview of what's going to happen, Luiz is going to give some advice for everyone's code email template. And after that, we're gonna switch to questions, and we already have some prepared questions for both of our speakers. But after those prepared questions, you can ask the questions, and yeah. And feel free to just put them in the chat right now. We'll just get to them a bit later. So let me just present.
So about this first one, what gets me? You guys want me to read it, or can we go straight to the? Can't hear it. I think someone is having a problem in the chat. Okay, I can read it. So the subject here is college students interested in research and opportunities. So firstly, one thing I would like to point out is that common enough with a title that says like I'm interested in doing X or Y is a little bit better than saying a student interested in it, because it's too general. And the professors generally don't like things that are general. They like really specific things. So like saying, I want to help with X. And they will see that you are interested in that kind of stuff and maybe think, he already knows something about this thing. So even if you can't work with that thing, you can work with another thing that it's related. Dear professor, my name is Hassat Hussan. I think that I said it correctly. And I'm currently a college student with a strong interest in research, particularly AI and technology. I'm eager to hands-on experience and learn how to real-world research is conducted. Yep, it's more of I would say a direct approach here also would be better. It's cool that you said, I'm interested in something, but like bringing something that you can say that, like saying, I have X and Y project or research. Already read a few of these papers. So this paper is interesting, that paper is interesting, and say that in the paragraph. I think it's more importantly saying, I'm interested. In some cultures that can work, in others maybe it won't. I can say that here in Brazil it would work sometimes because we have a more relaxed culture, but if you are handling like Germans or Europeans tend to be a little more direct in their engagement, especially in research environments. I recently come across work and found it your work and found it very inspiring. I would like to appreciate the opportunity to assist in any upcoming research projects, even in a small capacity. Like I said, the same stuff. I am hardworking, motivated, and willing to learn new skills, contribute effectively. Okay. And yeah, that's basically it. I would say to be a little more direct and try to bring more experiences and not just say, I'm motivated. Okay. So subject, high school student interested in research opportunity in field. That's a little bit better. It's saying what the field is. And dear doctor name, my name is Asta. I'm a high school student from school, university, country with a strong interest in a specific field. Come across your work, project paper, and found your research. Yes, that's better, much better. Try to say what interested you, and in that way, he can know that you have a little bit of experience or that you're already capable of knowing what is like. I've been independently exploring this field and would love the opportunity to learn from you and contribute you in any way possible. Even if it involves small tasks such as data collection, literature review. I'm eager to have hands-on experience and deepen my understanding of research. Yes, that's perfect. An even better one would be like if it's possible that you can contribute it in that field. So try to do a little, maybe a little review of your own and try to send it with your email as well. Or even try to do a little experiment, like a lot of things in electronics or computer science, you can do a little experiments on your own and try to send it. Okay. If uh, okay. High school student interested in cybersecurity research. It would be a little bit better if instead of cybersecurity research, it said it's kind of hard because it's a high school student. But if you could say like what topic in cybersecurity already in the subject, in this very short form, it would be great. But it's okay. It's all right. Dear Dr. Leslie, my name is Karu Hussan. I'm a high school student from Bangladesh with a growing interest in cybersecurity network. I come across your research in topic and found your work on a specific detail particularly interesting. It gave me a better understanding of how the real-world security challenges are approached. Yeah, perfect. I'm currently working on foundational tools by working on small projects like example Project Planner, network analysis tools, and learning Python networking concepts. Great. If you could send those on the email, it would be even better. I would love the opportunity to learn more about your work and possibly assist in any false capacity. That's perfect. Also, another encouragement on you guys, those things like computer science or a lot of peer review papers, like peer review not, but like review papers are, you can work in anywhere in the world, so you wouldn't have any downside zone reaching across the globe, basically. So this email is perfect. I think it would be a great templating.
Okay, thank you so much. And now we're going to the Q&A, which Anna will lead us.
Yeah. So before before we like do like the live questions, because you guys filled out the form and there are like some of you guys put some questions on there, I'll just like read out the first like 10 questions from it, and then we can continue to like live questions. So both Michael and Louise can respond to these questions as you see fit. So the first question is, I think it's asking both of you, but like, how did you personally get into research and approach your first opportunity without prior experience?
Sorry. Sorry. Who's this question directed to?
I think it's directed to both of you. You guys can like answer it one by one. Would you like me to repeat the question again?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the question is, how did you personally get into research and approach your first opportunity without prior experience?
Michael, you would like to answer first, or I'll go?
Okay, you go.
Hello? Oh, all right. I'll go first. So basically, the thing that is, you have to try to learn about some stuff, because if you go blindly into anything, it can go very badly, I would say. But you can try to hang around, try to speak with people that are in some labs. That's great. Like anyone that works in a lab will know a lot about research and gonna try to tell you about some interesting concepts that can maybe help you out in choosing what you would like to do. And professors like are great in this, because if you reach out to any professors, they're gonna most of them gonna love telling you about their research, so you can help them out. Or then you have to ask them one by one and see what topics interest you and what you would like to work with and can work with. Basically, that's it.
Okay, okay. Can I come in now? So, can you hear me? So, um, from mine, I would say most times I think people should stop thinking that they have experience, right? Can you hear me first? Can you hear me before I continue? I'd love to know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, okay, so sorry, so sorry. So the first thing that people should stop taking they don't have experience. So there are actually a whole lot of ways you can start. So first of you build visible evidence. You need to actually build visible evidence. How? You pick a problem. So people when they start, they actually pick a fake topic. But the first of you can do is like picking a problem. You pick a problem and read like 3 to 5 papers of it. That's just the first step. You just pick a problem that you can notice. Most times you have like a whole lot of problems around the environment that already need to be solved. So the first step is actually to pick a problem. Then the next thing is to do a mini research. You don't really need to do something too much. You could just reproducing a model for a paper or comparing 2 or 3 approaches to a certain data set. So you just keep it very simple. Just the problem, the methods, the results you got, and also the insights. Then you can upload it on GitHub or just a short blog on any social media platform. You can also target professors, just like he said. You can target professors in the very right. But you don't just send something please like no matter them. Instead, you send what you've done, what you're working on, that specific area that you're really interested in working on. You can also use hackathons as to
Michael, I think you're
guys.
having some problems with your audio right now.
You can and
Michael, how about since you're having some problems with your audio, how about we do it so that you answer the questions through the chat instead of like through audio? If that works. So like if you see those questions in the chat, please answer them like just like type your answer through the chat since your audio is kind of glitchy. Yeah. Okay, so then let me continue on to the next question. I'll also post it in the chat, Michael, if you want to answer it along with Louise. So the next question is how can students build strong, impactful projects starting from a simple idea, especially without access to advanced resources, labs, mentorship?
That's a tough one. So basically, yeah, you can read stuff and reach out to people, because there are some things that you really can't do without high-end equipment, like